You want the news? We've got the news. You want the pony? We've got the pony. You want the long-lost and ancient sapphire stone? We've got the... Curse you, Daring Do! I'm Joe Stevens, and this is the Equestria Inquirer. I'll get you next time, Daring Do. Next time! Ponyville. Did Daring Do steal my notes too? Curse you, Daring Do! In any case, I'm feeling charitable, so I won't seek vengeance against Daring Do this time. The ponies of Ponyville are also feeling charitable. 6 such ponies of Ponyville have made myriad attempts to improve the lives of their fellow ponies through various charitable activities with tragic results. Thinking to use their individual talents to help the lives of ponies, a paramilitary group known only as the Main Six set out to found charitable organizations. Twilight Sparkle, unspoken leader of the semi-secret elite force, called on her associates to make Ponyville a better place. In the group's first attempt to create a charity, Applejack created an anti-obesity campaign to teach cows how to lose weight through diet and exercise. This was the result.
My legs! My legs! They ran over my legs!
Fluttershy's foundation, called Fluttershy's Home for Parasprites, ended with similarly tragic results. Rarity's charitable organization differed from her friends in that she sought to make the world a more beautiful place. Sounds good enough till you realize that the foundation was called A Mustache for Every Pony. Princess Celestia herself was most displeased with the outcome. What should come as a surprise to no pony is that Rainbow Dash's charity had by far the worst results. The foundation, called Rainbow Dash Foundation for Disabled Flyers, was a great idea at first. Rainbow Dash would attach a disabled flyer via rope so that she could cause a gliding effect and let the pony fly. It was a great concept, till Rainbow decided to illustrate some low flying techniques to those tethered to her.
Wait, Rainbow, the force, look up to the...
Pinkie Pie's charity, called The Humble Brony Bundle, has near shattered reality for all ponykind. And of course, Twilight Sparkle forged a group called Twilight Solves All Problems Ever. Perhaps this was created in light of recent media criticism, but in any case, Twilight Sparkle was actually completely successful in solving all problems in Equestria. Ever. Then she realized that not having problems was actually a problem. So she set about creating new problems so that she could solve them, creating a perpetual cycle of willful problem creation and solving by remorseless leaders incapable of being concerned with the stealing of free will of all ponykind, and essentially turning every pony into puppets meant only to amuse and perpetuate Twilight's self-fulfilling mission of solving problems. Or at least that's what Twilight said she was doing. She was twitching a lot and we're not quite sure what she was saying.
Kids getting on your last nerve? Grizzled Settler Ponies now comes in Grandpa flavor.
Grandpa, tell us a story!
When I set hoof on that life-forsaken battlefield, I never wished more in my life that Celestia was watching over me. And I was never more certain that she wasn't.
Wow, life is cruel and unyielding. Thanks for the valuable life lesson.
Don't you give me no back talk, I'll take a switch to you.
This just in. Ponies are questioning the practice of a death metal musical number for summer wrap-up. As every pony knows, ponies have to manually change the seasons. For winter to spring, it's a tedious process of labor using an upbeat Broadway-style song. For summer to fall, it's a hardcore metal fest basically designed to make ponies hate the earth enough to want to end summer. While most ponies consider the act of organizing a fully orchestrated musical as a precursor to the transition of seasons, pretty much the reason that seasonal change is late every year, the transition from summer to fall is uniquely suited to a death metal themed piece. How else do you get trees to shed their leaves without 350,000 watts of bass blasting the limbs clean? Yes, the science of the metal fest known as Summer Wrap-Up is sound, but for some reason ponies have begun to request that its provisions be re-examined. For instance, some ponies think that there might be a better way to make the days shorter than by shoving Princess Celestia into a mosh pit and making her lower the sun early so she can escape. But it's not like she'll just do it on her own, or the sun will just set early on its own. The practice of bird migration has also been called into question. Some have suggested simply telling the birds that they need to migrate, and that it's unethical to blast an earth-shattering guitar riff that scares the summer birds to the other side of the planet. I say that's just nature and ponies need to deal with it. This is simple science. Metal music is the only way to end summer and usher in fall. It is not only fundamental science, but it is quite effective when the entire population of Pegasi headbang in the upper atmosphere to create a reverse airflow. I will demonstrate now. That's the air going down. Imagine thousands of Pegasus. Now, there you go. This is the only way to bring colder air down and lower temperatures. Plus, the new main swirling techniques pioneered by metal rock group Ramstallion have made this process even easier. While damage to most ponies' eardrums is extensive, this is merely the price we have to pay to change the seasons. And besides, if you challenge the metal music turning summer into fall, then you have to call into question the use of polka dancing to change fall to winter, and salsa to change spring to summer. And that just doesn't make any sense. Speaking of things that don't make any sense, here's TechRat with this week's Mayors in a Minute.
Thanks, Joe. Sweet Apple Acres was the scene of a massive, deafening protest this past week, as throngs of disgruntled ponies gathered around the orchard, angrily chanting and waving signs in opposition to the farm's harvesting methods. Okay, intern, it wasn't a massive protest, but it was still pretty big. Would you believe medium-sized? Okay, small. It was a small protest. Tiny, even. Okay, it was 6 ponies waving signs. Okay, it was 5 ponies, 2 signs, and a chipmunk with Tourette's. You happy now? Geez, intern, I was just trying to jazz up my article a bit. Don't have to be such a killjoy. Anyway, these 5 ponies, and a chipmunk, represent an equal rights organization that opposes the mistreatment and consumption of apples. They call themselves Ponies for the Ethical Treatment of Apples, or PETA. PETA believes that apples have the ability to feel emotion. And as such, claim that the apple bucking practices used by the apple family constitute cruel and unusual punishment, causing the tasty fruit to suffer emotional distress, psychological horror, oh, this is too rich, and eventually the horrible experience of being baked alive inside a delicious pie. I can't believe they're serious. Rustic workaholic Applejack, identified by PETA as the ringleader and an apple killer, had this to say.
I am just completely besides myself. Are they all just plumb loco? Them apples ain't got no feelings. They're apples. You eat 'em. Look at here, Sugar Cube. My family's livelihood depends on us bucking those trees. I don't need no crackpots telling us it's wrong and making us look bad. We are good, honest, hard-working ponies. Shoot, this is the first time a group has ever protested Sweet Apple Acres. Well, except for the one time the Ponyville Grammar Society went accusing me of butchering the English language. Frankly, I'm a not knowing a gosh darn thing what they were talking about. There ain't not nothing done wrong with my grammar neither.
PETA founder Ingrid Nykirk is here to explain the reasoning for her group's completely ludicrous stance. Ingrid, your thoughts?
I'm afraid that the apple killer is completely incorrect. Studies have been conducted since 1948 concerning an apple's ability to communicate and to express emotions.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You seriously do believe that fruit has feelings? You're kidding, right?
Not at all. The field was pioneered by Cleve Buckster with his theory of apple perception, which suggested that apples could react to emotional stimuli and broadcast those reactions to other apples and even ponies. This idea was later expanded upon in Peter Trotkin's book, The Secret Life of the Red Delicious in 1973. Apples feel pain, fear, and sorrow. They also have panic attacks, emo phases, and midlife crises. Essentially, they are us. If we were small, red, spherical, and grew on a tree, Applejack just doesn't want to accept the fact that she participates in an industry of murder.
Thank you, Ingrid. I think I'm just a little bit crazier for having heard that. In an attempt to dissuade ponies from consuming apples and apple-related products, PETA has launched a smear campaign against Sweet Apple Acres, running ads in the full free press accusing the family of apple abuse. These ads are usually accompanied by a picture of Applejack, sporting a goatee and devil horns that look hastily drawn on with a marker. PETA has also staged demonstrations in both Ponyville and Canterlot, where they dress as apples and splash themselves with fake applesauce while they scream and writhe on the ground. They've even put together a television commercial, demonizing the apple family and proclaiming the unimaginable horrors of apple harvesting. Here is that commercial, which they call 36 Hours to Dessert.
His name is Barry. Barry is an apple. In August 2012, PETA undercover investigators rescued him just hours before he was due to be harvested. At the apple death camp known as Sweet Apple Acres, apples are valued only for their tastiness. They will be collected, transported to a slaughter farm, and mercilessly sliced up to be used as a dessert ingredient. In the orchard, frightened apples of all varieties, from Golden Delicious to York Imperial to Wine Sap, are violently bucked from the comfort and safety of their tree branches by the sadistic apple family. What follows is a horrifying freefall into a waiting basket where, without cushioning of any kind, the apples are slammed into the unyielding wood, causing bruising and crumpled stems. These baskets, designed to hold no more than 4 apples comfortably, are usually crammed with 30 apples or more. Apples are piled on top of each other in such a way that they can barely move, with the ones on the bottom being further bruised and crushed. From here, the fate of these helpless apples can vary. Sometimes they are brought into a death kitchen, where an evil old mare with a knife slices them into pieces, wraps them in dough, and bakes their dismembered bodies in a high-temperature oven. Other times, they are cruelly dumped into a barbaric press, where a heartless red stallion runs a treadmill that slowly lowers the press, compressing the apples until their bodies burst. The vile runoff is then collected and sold as a disgusting beverage called cider. Even the youngest pony gets involved, laughing and playing as she helps her demonic siblings lead hundreds of apples to their doom. Barry is one of the lucky ones. After weeks of comfort and rest, he has recovered from his ordeal. However, for every Barry, there are hundreds of others not so fortunate. Something must be done. Their silent screams and tortured fruits cannot be heard. So we must speak for the produce that cannot. We urge you, help stop the apple abuse. Boycott Sweet Apple Acres. Thank you.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, that is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's the first time I've seen it. I'm sorry.
How can you laugh at that?
Oh, Ingrid, you're still here. Well, allow me to laugh even harder.
You're sadistic, just like them.
No, I'm not sadistic. I'm just hungry. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to have a little snack. In fact, I've invited some friends to join me. Here, have a look.
Wait, what are you doing?
Ooh, what do we have here? Oh, a nice little group waiting for me. Oh, isn't that so sweet?
No, you wouldn't.
Oh, Mr. Apple, you don't want me to eat you? Maybe we should put it to a vote. All those in favor of eating you say aye. Aye. And all those opposed?
Please, for the love of...
Oh, that is the stuff.
That's just vile. Those poor apples.
Don't want you to be an accomplice to murder, after all. Oh, wait. Look what else I have. Look what else I have. Look at this thing.
What is that thing?
You'd probably call this some kind of medieval torture device, wouldn't you? Oh, yeah. Watch out!
Oh, dear sweet.
Oh, we can pick out the guts here. We don't need those.
Please just stop. How can you be so heartless?
Absolutely. Look what I have here. Oh, yeah. Look
I'm gonna live.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this looks scrumptious. Oh, the mushy stuff is the best. Yeah.
Why, sweet Celestia, why?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, look at this. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Thank you, Techrat. And here's Ivan with a report on the election between Princess Celestia and Princess Luna.
Hello, Joe Stevens. Ivan have update on Princess election. Ivan get chance ask Princess Celestia on issues. Is good for health.
Great! What did she say?
Ivan ask about economy and jobs. Very touchy subject.
I can see.
Ivan get in trouble with Princess Celestia. What for when Ivan show Princess Celestia Ivan table? Ivan say, Princess Celestia, Ivan make table. How you help Ivan make more table? Make more money, fix economy, is good for health. Then Princess Celestia look at Ivan table and say, you not make that table. What Celestia mean? Of course Ivan make table. Is Ivan table? How can say Ivan not make table? Is not good for health.
That's understandable, but do you think that the comments were taken out of context?
Ivan make table. Not say Ivan didn't make table. Can't say Ivan didn't make table.
Calm down, Ivan, calm down. Let's change the subject. Did you ask Princess Celestia any other questions?
After not make a table question, Ivan decide ask more lighter subject.
Thank you.
Ask about food. What's Celestia's favorite fruit? Ivan say, Princess Celestia, you for like apple? She say, yes, like apple. Ivan ask, Princess Celestia, you for like cherry? She say, yes, like cherry. Ivan say, Princess Celestia, you for like banana? She not answer.
What did she say?
Celestia not say anything, but Ivan did get free transportation to go interview Princess Luna. Is good for health.
Well, fair enough. And here's LTT Moose with this week's Horseshoes and Hand Grenades.
Horseshoes and hand grenades, we don't have to get it right on the first try.
Greetings, traveller! On this dark and Stygian eve, I bid you salutations. By the moniker of LTT Moose I am known, from the hills of Grabnar to the dales of Frafnur. Verily it has fallen upon mine ears that the hoof-trodden dust of Ponyville, that rarity, whence questing for gems and baubles, to ordain upon her folded silken garments, did chance upon the discovery of the red-hued emerald of legend, the Eye of Argon. Verily, husked the diminutive steed, I shall proceed henceforth towards my chateau and ensconcel it within my finest bedazzled garb. As she spoke, the limpid pools of her ocular organs shimmered with a whimsical delight. Yet rarity's attainment of such a hallowed and bespectacled bauble would be lay-weighed. For you see, beneath the sun-caked layers of the sodden earth, a faint scratching sound crescendoed into a cacophony as the soil beneath her erupted in an avalanche of a hailstorm of musty fur and yellow shrieking claws, knocking her face down upon her flanks. Regaining her composure at the speed of thought, she turned to meet her aggressors. Who dares perturbate through the sacred gem grounds? Ejaculated a rarity as the amorphous shapes lurched themselves from their obsidian vaults. We are the diamond dogs, thou lusty wench, belched the shaggy-lipped countenance of a beast from the cold-choked recesses of the deepest parts of Tartarus. Its companions grinned with rictus smiles, bearing the repugnant opaque teeth and heaving fetid breath. The gem belongs to us. Remove yourself post-haste, and we may decide to spare your caustic life. You sluts should have chosen your foes more carefully, rolled rarity in a mocking alto. Begone from my sight, or you shall find a foot of unicorn horn lodged within your gizzard. The insult ravaged the creature's wildly raging blood, and they threw themselves heedlessly into the fray. With the slightest of motions, Rarity flicked her dagger-like forehead spike into the oncoming onslaught of flesh and bone. Once lodged firmly into the visual socket of the oncoming foe, she gave her head a turn to the counterclockwise direction, parting the head from its gesticulating flesh. In a shower of gore and blood and sinew and vertebrae and jugulars and retromandibular and superficial maxillary veins. Oh, it's nasty. Ha-ha! The sight of his comrade in arms decapitation in such a manner, coupled with the unicorn's fiercely blazing head ovals fixed upon his form, sent the second assailant into a paroxysm of shuddering fits. Chalk white spittle fled from his gob and sprayed across the cherry red splotches of viscera smeared across his countenance. He collapsed, unsensing onto the grim, light-forsaken tundra, incoherently gibbering in his seizure. However, the commotion proved opportunistic for the third behemoth, who circled around behind Rarity and grabbed her bustily about the waist. Utilizing a skill taught to her by the battle-maiden Applejack, Rarity cuffed her back hoof forward and laced it heartily backwards, lodging it squarely in the monster's G-string. The furry abomination bellowed with a fetid howl as the dark orbs of his eyes bulged from his skull. Loosing his grip from Rarity, he clutched at his nether regions and wallowed in misery upon the sandy reaches of the blood-stained battlefield, ichor oozing from his wound as he regurgitated the contents of his stomach in a slimy orange-white stream. Ha! Satisfied that her foes had been thoroughly disheartened and killed, Rarity breathed deep the gust of life and proceeded to claim her prize, the Eye of Argon, and began her journey backwards towards the horizon, back to her boutique, leaving her enemies a quivering blotch upon the grime, blotching things up in the swirling mists of time and legend. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you, LTT Moose. And that's it for another week of the Equestria Inquirer. Join us next week with special coverage from Midwestria. That's right, I, Joe Stevens, will be coming to Midwestria, Chicago's premier brony convention. Join us in Chicago for special guests, brony interviews, and tons of fun. And if you're in the Chicagoland area, you had better come. Seriously though, Midwestria is going to be awesome. Here's the website where you can find directions and information. I'm Joe Stevens, and this has been the Equestria Inquirer. Good night, and good luck.